funny bone? I mean, like everybody's had happened. Yeah. Nothing funny about it.
No, definitely not.
So you're playing Sunday.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Hey, Jordan, I didn't hear the first part, but do you have feeling back fully or
Yes.
close?
Yes.
So, Jordan, why did they limit you?
Just based on my hand, getting back to it.
So if the feeling's back, does it still hurt in any way, or how is it affecting you at practice today?
Yeah, it's more my elbow. More my elbow.
Okay.
Covering that.
Soreness.
Yes.
Does it hurt when you throw? Like, do you feel it when you're throwing?
Yeah.
So, Christian Watson, tough injury. And so, talk about how these guys need to step up to the kind of role that he's played for you.
Yeah, I mean, big time role for us, for sure. So that's a huge loss. You know, it's one of those ones that it sucks. You know, you hurt for Christian, especially at this time of the year. But you know, like you said, definitely, you know, other guys are gonna have to step up. We got a deep receiver room. Guys have kind of done that all year. You know, we've battled through different injuries, guys missing games, things like that. So it's just another situation that guys will step up and make plays, and we're confident in that group.
When you saw these guys, the Eagles week 1 in Brazil, did you have any inkling that this would end up being the number 1 defense in the league?
Yeah, I mean, when we played them week 1, we knew what kind of team they were, you know, based on last year. And, yeah, I mean, they're a really good defense. They've got really good players over there. So, obviously, we played them. We saw what they're about. And, you know, we did some good things that game. But, yeah, they're a really good defense, really sound. You know, it's one of those games that everybody's got to be at their best.
Did you cut loose today, or do you have to wait until later in the week to try to
What was that?
throwing? Did you cut loose today, or do you need to wait until later in the week to do that?
Yeah, we'll wait till later in the week.
If you had to cut loose today, do you think you could have?
Cut loose, as in,
Just let it rip.
yeah, I'll throw, you know, my normal, you know, I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry.
Will you have to wear any protection on it during the game, do you think, on the elbow?
I'm not sure right now. We'll see. We'll kind of judge how it feels doing that, wearing padding, things like that. So we'll see.
You did have padding on it today, though?
No.
You did not.
Jordan, as much as you'd like to continue to talk about your elbow, I'm curious about what you did in last year's playoff game against the Cowboys. You know, there were 2 really good quarterbacks that came here before you, and I'm not sure how many games they had in the postseason as good as that. What does that do for you going into this playoff game? Anything at all?
Yeah, I think
How much does that experience help this time around? You're still a very young team in relation to the rest of the league, but having 2 playoff games under your belts, how much does that matter? And just how different was the speed, the intensity, and how much can you really use that experience to your advantage?
yeah, no, it definitely helps a lot. Gaining that playoff experience, having played in 2 playoff games with a lot of these guys in this locker room. So, you know, it's playoffs. It's win or go home. You got to be able to go out there and execute and take advantage of every play. You know, you can't really have mess ups and mistakes, and there's no do-overs in the playoffs. So I think this group understands that, and obviously we got some reps of that last year, but got to go out there and play our best ball.
Just the less momentum you guys have going into the postseason compared to last year, is that something concerning at all? Just that this offense has not looked their best maybe the last couple weeks?
No, does not concern me at all. Got to go out there and play our best ball Sunday. You know, it doesn't. I mean, you could be undefeated going to playoffs and lose your first game. So, you know, you got to be able to go out there and execute and be at our best.
What did your experience in Philly, filling in for Aaron a couple of years ago, feel like? What was the crowd like that day? What did it feel like to have success in that atmosphere, and does that help at all?
Yeah, I'd say for me, you know, having been there, played before, kind of helps you understand what kind of environment you're going into. So, yeah, you know, it's a good fan base over there. It's a pretty cool stadium to play in, and it's definitely going to be loud. So we got to be able to prepare for that. We've played in, you know, loud road games so far this season, so I think we'll be just fine. But yeah, it's a good environment to play in for sure.
Jordan, I guess I'm curious, when you're working with the receivers, trying to get that passing game, similar to where it was at the first of the year, is it more like in the meetings and conversations where you guys are trying to build that back, or is it more just on the field, like you guys just need to see it? I guess how's that balance?
It's everything. It's everything you do while you're in this facility. When you go home, you know, the way we talk about concepts and you know, how we install it, how we go run it in the walkthroughs, and make sure everybody's on the same page with the timing, and, you know, just exactly how you run routes, things like that. And then it takes over at the practice field, and we're getting those full speed live reps at it. So, you know, that comes down to just being at our best, being on the same page, and that's everything we do while we're here in the building.
Jordan, you know, it's never just one thing when something's not functioning the way you want it. So have you kind of diagnosed what's been going on with the passing game the last several weeks? Like, what do you think you need to do specifically better to get it back to what it's been earlier in the year?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to go out there and execute. At the end of the day, we got to get in a rhythm early. I think that's really important. When you start a game, to be able to just feel like you're in that rhythm, feel like things are hitting, and obviously make plays early on. So I think if we get back in that rhythm and are executing at a high level, I think it makes it easier to go out there and play confident, play free. You know, we just got to go out there and make plays at the end of the day.
You with your elbow, hand, whatever, you had said the other day that your accuracy has been inconsistent. Do you feel like you can get back to being accurate too? And is it more footwork or whatever else that can get you there? It's not necessarily dependent on how your elbow feels, or what?
I mean, that's kind of the same thing I said earlier. Is it with that? It's everything. It's footwork, the timing of the plays, being on the same page with the receivers. Obviously, your fundamentals, throwing the ball, make sure everything's on point. So there's a lot of things that play into that, but it comes down to just being locked into the details, being on point when you get out there in the game, and just going out there and doing the same thing you do in practice. You know, make sure everything transfers over to the game.
During your week of preparation, as each day goes on, by the time you get to Saturday night, are there things you see from the opponent say this might work, or here's something we do really well? Like by the time it's Sunday, there's a dozen plays you say you're really excited about. You think that this could go. Is that the feeling you want to have on game day?
Oh, always. I mean, when we game plan plays, there's always, obviously, coaches feel a certain type of way about some plays, and players might feel a certain type of way about some plays. So you go through the week, you practice this stuff against the scout team, see how it kind of comes to life. And yeah, I mean, you have plays you feel really good about, and plays you might not feel as confident about, and then you go out there and play the game, and those plays you felt good about might not work the same as you thought it might. So you never know what play is going to be the one. What play might not be as good. So that's why you go out there and play the game. But there's definitely throughout the week plays you feel better about and plays you might not feel as good about. So.
Jordan, every week is obviously a new test, but just what's your level of confidence in how you guys can run the football?
Can run the football? I'm very confident. You know, I think you look at what they have on that defense, and I think a big strength is their D-line and their front seven. So, you know, that's their strength, and I think we've been running the ball as good as anybody, I feel like. So I'm confident in our run game. I think we ran the ball pretty well the first game we played them. I think there's some stuff that we still clean up, and there's going to be bigger runs out there and bigger explosive plays. But I think our run game is as good as anybody's.
Jordan, you look at the other offenses that made the playoffs in this conference. They all kind of have that guy that the quarterback can go to when he's absolutely got to have it. You feel like you're still trying to find that guy to go to when you absolutely need it, and how important, especially this time of year, to be able to develop that kind of connection?
Yeah, no, I think we have plenty of guys we can go to in crunch time. And, you know, there's a lot of things that play into that in terms of play call and you know, what route certain guys might be on. So matchups, things like that. But I'm confident that all these guys can go win if they're given a one-on-one matchup, things like that. But we got plenty of guys in this locker room that can go make plays, so I'm not worried about that.
Is it more for you just reading the defense and knowing the offense and knowing what's being given on the field than looking at specific matchups and wanting to target this specific matchup, more scheme of a matchup for you?
It really depends on what play, honestly. We have plays where it's you know, it's a yes/no backside, and you might take that in consideration. Who's my matchup? Who do I got out there? Who do they have DB? Things like that. And then you have plays that is really just a progression play. You know, you're reading it across the board, things like that. So it's all play dependent, and obviously coverage dependent what the defense look is.
You've mentioned the word confidence a lot of times. You have confidence this offense can do what it needs to do with the bright lights on now. After the way the last 2 weeks go, how do you drive that message home to your teammates as a leader that, hey, we are the team that won 11 games and we can do this? What's your message?
I mean, everybody knows in this locker room that we're that team. I don't think there's no secret about that. So I really think it's just blocking out all the outside noise, knowing who we have in this locker room. And like I said before, it's playoffs. It's 0-0. So who cares about the record? And I really think we have to be confident. You can't go in the playoffs with lacking that confidence because you'll get beat. So, we have one shot at this thing. I told everybody today we got, 5 days guaranteed left in our season. So just go out there, play free, everybody do their job, and just go out there and handle business, make plays. That's all we can do, and go win the game.
With that said, obviously there's no other point other than to be confident this time of year. A year ago, winning your final 3 compared to losing your last 2 going into this playoffs, does it feel differently compared to a year ago when you went in?
No. No.
Jordan, how different is your playoff mindset? Is it much different than the way you prepared for the regular season?
No, it's not different at all. I mean, that was a message we talked about today as well. You can't really change much. You got to treat it like another day. If you make it a big thing, guys feel that pressure. So you got to go out there and just handle business. Prepare. Like I said, we got 5 days guaranteed, so prepare like this is all we got. We got one shot at this thing, so go out there, make plays, but we're confident, and we won't really be changing much in our preparation.
Jordan, Bo didn't get a ton of opportunities during the regular season, but we saw what he did last year. Malik had obviously a big catch the other day. How much can those 2 guys help you? I know you got other guys too, but how much can those guys elevate late in the year here and kind of be factors for you potentially?
Yeah, they can be big-time playmakers for us, for sure. Like you said, they haven't necessarily maybe got as many targets, things like that, just with other guys being here, being healthy. So now having Christian out, we'll need those guys, and I think they've proven before that they can step in and take advantage of that opportunity when they do. So we're confident in those guys, and they do a great job throughout the week just staying ready.